Warm wishes to all. I am Dr. Sarita, Assistant Professor, B.Ed Department, IIMT College of Science and Technology, Greater Noida. My today's live session topic is Constitution of India. These are outlines of my presentation. We will study about need, framing, basic features, structure, and educational provisions of Constitution of India. First of all, we will know the meaning of Constitution. Constitution is a set of laws or principles, may be written or unwritten, on which a country is acknowledged to be governed. It is the system of fundamental laws and principles that describes the nature, functions, and limits of a government or another institution. A constitution is an important document laying down the fundamental principles of a country. The country is governed by these principles. Laws are also formulated according to them. The constitution is regarded as the fundamental law of a country. The constitution was adopted by the Constituent Assembly of India on 26 November 1949. It came into effect on 26 January 1950. After knowing the meaning of constitution, the next question arises that why we needed a constitution. Every nation has a constitution to guide its philosophy. This constitution provides guidance and direction to the government for the safeguarding of the rights and means of welfare for the common people and welfare-oriented projects in all aspects of life. So, our constitution is a necessity for each nation, irrespective of its type of political system. The first one is the foster trust and coordination among people. It specifies how the government will be constituted and the powers to take decisions. It lays down limits on the power of the government and tells us what the rights of the citizens are. It expresses the aspirations of the people about creating a good society. Uh, Now the next thing comes that how the Constitution of India was framed. The Constitution of India was formulated by a Constituent Assembly under the chairmanship of Dr. Rajendra Prasad. The Constituent Assembly formed a drafting committee under the chairmanship of Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar on 29th August 1947. The draft was approved by the Constituent Assembly on 26 November 1949. After serious thought and wide discussion, it was enforced from 26 January 1950. The Constitution of India took 2 years, 11 months, and 18 days to form. A total of 6.4 crore rupees was the expenditure on this. It comprises of 395 articles and 12 schedules. Now, these are the basic features of constitution and education. The first one is universalization of education. Effort is being made to provide free and compulsory education for children in the age group of 6 to 14 years. And we are trying to achieve this goal by such projects as Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, School Chalo Abhiyan, and provision of midday meals. The next is equality of educational opportunities. All children are being provided with equal opportunities for getting education, and this opportunity is being given to everybody at the primary level and higher level also. Women education, after freedom, special facilities are being given to women for education so that we can increase their enrollment in education. The next is adult education. For adult education, an extensive program like National Literary Mission is made in order to eliminate illiteracy from the country and to cultivate consciousness and awakening in the people. Next is education for the handicapped. Our government has started a coordinated educational projects for handicapped, and special institutions are being opened for the deaf, dumb, blind, and other handicapped children. The next is education for the SC, ST, and backward classes children. Children of these categories are given special educational facilities and reservation in education and government services are being provided. Vocational education. The Kothari Commission, new education policy and amended new education policy have laid special emphasis on vocationalization of education. The next is education in science and technology. It is said that the proper use of technology can help to eradicate poverty and ill health and raise the standard of life of the people. Therefore, the teaching of science and technology is being arranged at all levels. The next and the last one is value education. You all know that value education is needed for security, peace, development, progress, unity, and integrity. The Kothari Commission has said that the indifferent views towards social and moral values in present day youth is the source of social and moral conflicts. So it is necessary that we make our education value based, for these necessary steps are being taken. Now the next is preamble to Constitution of India. The preamble to our Constitution says that we, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, ensuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, to hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. Now, These are some characteristics of preamble to the Constitution of India. The opening word of the preamble are we, the people of India. These words mean that this constitution has been formulated by us, the people of India. This has not been imposed on us by any outer people. Sovereign, democratic, and republic. The sovereign meaning that our country is fully free in the internal and external policy. No other country has the right to interfere in our domestic or external affairs. And the word democratic means that the supreme power of the political system lies with people. Now, the next term, republic, is meant that the highest official of the state, president, is elected by the people and he is not a hereditary king. The next is social, economic, and political justice. As per the fundamental rights, it has been declared that no discrimination will be made amongst people on the basis of social, economic, and political justice. Freedom for religion and worship. Our constitution provides freedom to all citizens for abiding by any religion or worship system. Spirit of fraternity. Our constitution emphasizes on inculcating the spirit of fraternity among all Indians so that the unity and integrity of the nation can be maintained. Secularism. It means that there is no state religion. The state will be neither religious nor irreligious. Rather, it will remain isolated from all the types of religious ideologies and activities and religious matters. The next is adoption and enactment. The preamble to Constitution of India explain that the Constitution of India is enacted and written. The next is structure of Constitution of India. This is the structure of Constitution of India. Our Constitution contains articles, parts, and schedules. It is the world's largest constitution at the time of its enactment. It had 395 articles, 22 parts, and 4 schedules, and in the present time, it's have 25 parts, 448 articles, and 12 schedules. Now, fundamental rights. In India, like most other democracies in the world, some rights are mentioned in the Constitution. These rights are fundamental to our life and are given a special status. They are called fundamental rights. These rights are preserved in the Part 3 of the Constitution. At the enactment of Constitution, fundamental rights had been categorized in 7 classes. But after the right to property was cancelled, now there are 6 types of fundamental rights. Now, fundamental rights are a very important in our constitution. The significance and list of fundamental rights of the India are given right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, and right to constitutional remedies. Now the next question arises that uh, why are they called fundamental rights? These rights are called fundamental rights because of two reasons. They are enshrined in the Constitution, which guarantees them. They are justiciable. In case of a violation, a person can approach a court of law. The next, how many fundamental rights are there in the Indian Constitution? We are discussed already. There are six fundamental rights in the Indian Constitution. They are mentioned below among with the constitutional articles related to them. The first is right to equality in Article 14 to 18, right to freedom, Article 19 to 22, right against exploitation, Article 23 to 24, right to freedom of religion, Article 25 to 28, cultural and educational rights, Article 29 to 30, and the right to constitutional remedies, Article 32. Now, why right to property is not a fundamental right? There was one more fundamental right in the Indian constitutions. It is right to property. However, this right was removed from the list of fundamental rights by the 44th Constitutional Amendment. This was because this right proved to be a hindrance towards attaining the goal of socialism and redistributing wealth, equality among the people. Now we list the fundamental rights of Indian and briefly describe each the fundamental right. The first is right to equality. The right to equality is one of the important fundamental rights of the Indian Constitution that guarantees equal rights for everyone, irrespective of religion, gender, caste, race, or place of birth. It ensures equal employment opportunities in the government and ensure against discrimination by the state in matters of employment on the basis of caste, religion. These rights also includes the abolition of titles as well as untouchability. The next is right to freedom. Freedom is one of the most important ideals cherished by any democratic society. The Indian Constitution guarantees freedom to citizens. The freedom right includes many rights such as freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of assembly without arms, freedom of association, freedom to practice any profession, freedom to reside in any part of the country. The next one is right against exploitation. This right implies the prohibition of traffic in human beings and other forms of forced labor. It also implies the prohibition of employment of children in factories. Next, the right to freedom of religion. This indicates the secular nature of Indian polity. There is equal respect given to all religion. There is freedom of conscience, profession, practice, and propagation of religion. The state has no official religion. Every person has the right to freely practice his or her faith and establish and maintain religious and charitable institutions. The next is cultural and educational rights. These rights protect the rights of religious, cultural, and linguistic minorities by facilitating them to preserve their heritage and culture educational rights are for ensuring education for everyone without any discrimination. The next and the last fundamental right is right to constitutional remedies. The Constitution guarantees remedies if citizens' fundamental rights are violated. The government cannot infringe upon the curb anyone's rights when these rights are violated. The aggrieved party can approach the courts. Citizens can even go directly to the Supreme Court, which can issue writs for enforcing fundamental rights. Now, these are the fundamental duties in our constitutions. There are 11 fundamental duties in our constitutions. The first one is abide by the constitution and respect national flag and national anthem. Follow idols of the freedom struggle. Protect sovereignty and integrity of India. Defend the country and render national services when called upon. Developing the spirit of common brotherhood. Preserve composite culture of the country. Preserve natural environment. Develop scientific temper and humanity. Safeguard public property and avoid violence. Strive for excellence in all spheres of life. The last fundamental duty is, according to the 86th Amendment, parents and guardians are supposed to educate their wards in the age group of 6 to 14 years. Now, directive principles, chief characteristics of the Constitution of India is that some principles have been charted about the name of directive principles of state policy. For guiding the state, these directive principles have been mentioned in the fourth part and article from 38 to 51 of the Constitution. Now, there are 5 classifications of directive principles. The first classification is it is related to economic security. Next is related to agriculture, cottage industries, and gram panchayat. Related to health, education, and environment. Related to justice, social welfare, and protection of monuments. And related to international peace and security. Now, these are educational provisions in our constitution, like Article 21A. Article 21A in the Constitution of India to provide free and compulsory education of all children in the age group of 6 to 14 years as a fundamental right in such a manner as the state may by law determine. Article 28(1) no religious instructions shall be provided in any educational institution or maintained out of state funds. Article 29(2) no citizen shall be denied admission into any educational institutions maintained by the state or receiving aid out of state funds on grounds only of religion, race, caste, language, or any of them. Article 31. All minorities, whether based on religion or language, shall have the right to establish and administer educational institutions of their choice. The next is Article 41. It directs the state to secure the right to work, education, and public assistance in certain cases, such as unemployment, old age, sickness, and disablement. Article 45 talks about the provision for free and compulsory education for children. It states that the state shall endeavor to provide within a period of 10 years from the commencement of this constitution for free and compulsory education for all children until they complete the age of 14 years. The next is Article 46. The state shall promote with special care of educational and economic interest of the weaker sections of the people, and in particular of the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes, and shall protect them from social injustice. The next is Article 343. The official language of the Union shall be Hindi in Devanagari script. In Article 350 A, facilities for instruction in mother tongue at the primary stage. It provides that it shall be the endeavor of every state and of every local authority within the state to provide adequate facilities for instructions in the mother tongue at the primary stage of education to children belonging to linguistic minority groups. Article 351 of the Constitution provides that it shall be the duty of the Union to promote the spread of the Hindi language, to develop it so that it may serve as a medium of expression for all the elements of the composite culture of India. Thank you so much.